be good at this. All right, I'm starting the recording, I think. Yes, we're recording. We're starting at 10.1. Mona's doing it at site.
Okay.
I'll try and keep an eye on joining participants, but I don't think we've got anybody yet. Okay.
Okay, so in illis autem diebus, quibus haec gestus sunt in praedictis regionibus, fuit rex quidam magnus, ferax gentilisque, imperator barbarorum regnans in Timoria, quae erat caput Scotorum, Lyri ora Loguiri nomine, filius nia, origo stirpis regiae, totius paene insulae. So in illis autem diebus, now in those days, in which these things, gestus, took place, in the aforementioned regions, fuit rex quidam, there was a certain king, great, ferox, fierce, and pagan, imperator barbarorum, the emperor of the barbarians, reigning in Timoria or Tara, which was the capital of the Irish, Scotorum, with the name Loguiri, or maybe that's Leary.
Is that Leary? I don't know.
I wonder, because there's a place called Dunleary when
right.
they land in Dublin, and I bet that's him.
Right.
He was the son of Niall. The Origo Stirpis, the origin or ancestor of the royal race of almost the entire island.
Good.
Yep.
Good.
That was very good.
And in case people are interested, this seems to be, at least according to standard scholars that I've read, this seems to be a sort of retro-fiction of Merchu, that in Patrick's day, the king in Tara was almost certainly not the king of almost all of Ireland, but Merchu is exalting the preaching of Patrick to make it the central, to make him the central converter of the Irish. So that's kind of interesting. Anybody want to go on?
I can try.
Okay. Who said that?
Me, Lisa.
Lisa.
All right, Lisa, go ahead.
Right.
Forgive me because I'm pretty rusty. So are we reading the full thing out loud and then translating?
Yes, and people like it if you can read also the chunk of the Latin. So read the whole thing and then read it chunk by chunk if you can do that. I don't remember if we ever did that in class.
Okay. Sure. Hic autem scivos et magos et aurispices et incantatores et omnes malae artis inventores habuerat, qui poterant omnia scire et providere ex more gentilitatis et idolatriae antequam essent. E quibus hii duo praecaeteris praeferebantur, quorum nomina haec sunt, Lotroc, qui et Locru, et Lucet Mael, qui et Ronal.
Good.
So, hic autem scivos et, okay, there are a lot of ets. So, I guess I'm gonna, just take all this together. Hic autem scivos et magos et aurispices. So now here, habuerat, he had expert and expert both magicians and seers. Et incantatores, and wizards, and omnis malae artis inventores, and conjurers, of every evil art.
Good.
Does the omnis go with that?
Yes.
Okay.
Good.
Qui poterant omnia scire, who were able to know everything, et providere ex more gentilitatis, et idolatriae antequam essent, and to foresee what would be essent from from the custom of gentility and idolatry.
Right. Paganism.
Oh, okay. But I'm missing the antequam here.
I
So
think that goes with essent, right? They were able to foresee in the manner of paganism and idolatry. They were able to see things antequam essent before they happened.
oh, okay, great.
Because they're magic.
Makes sense.
You can use omnia as the object of providere also. So like they were able to know and foresee everything.
Right. Good
So that
point.
it doesn't just
Yeah.
hang there with no object.
Right.
Great.
Also, I took hic at the beginning just to mean he, but of course it could mean here, and you have no idea which, right? Whether it's here, here he had, or this guy had. To me, the hic as just the pronoun seems more medieval, but what do I know?
I think it's just one.
I think it's a pronoun?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't mark a macron there.
No.
And the he is the king we just learned about?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
So he had a bunch of these magic guys. Right.
Great.
Good.
Do you want me to keep going?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. Equibus hii duo. Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah, sorry. Keep going. Yeah.
Okay. Equibus hii duo prae caeteris preferibantur. So from whom, so from all these wizards, these two were preferred above the others. Quorum nomina haec sunt, whose names were, or are, Lothrock, aka Locru, and Lucetmael, aka Ronal.
Good. Right. Why wouldn't they have two weird names rather than just one weird name? But right. Good. Any questions? Onward. So I have three people that want to be promote. Sam, shall I promote you? And Parwa Moose and Lenovo User are mysterious to me, so I don't know if I'm supposed to promote. If you're people that want to be and ought to be online to translate. So just send me, put a chat thing if anybody wants to be promoted. So we still don't have Andrew. So I think we should get Jen has volunteered to do 10.3, which I think is much harder. I actually thought of a way, I thought I could type out how all those accusatives get governed by almost concealed verbs. I found it quite difficult. Take it away, Jen.
All right. Et hi duo, ex sua arte magica, crebrius profetabant, morem quendam exterum futurum in modum regni, cum ignota quadam doctrina molesta, longinquo transmaria advectum, ab halcis dictatum, a multis susceptum, ab omnibus honoratum, regna subversurum, resistentes reges occi surum, turba seducturum, omnes eorum deos destructurum, et ejectus omnibus illorum artis operibus in saecula regnaturum. And I'll stop there because I'm all right. And he duo, these two, the people we were just talking about, ex sua arte magica, from their magic skill, crebrius profetabant, were rather frequently, prophesying that, so now we've got an indirect statement, that morem quendam exterum futurum in modum regni, that a certain foreign custom habit, but it almost means religion here, I think, in our sense. So that a certain foreign custom, futurum scilicat esse, was going to happen in modum regni, in the manner of a kingdom. And cum with ignota quadam doctrina molesta, with a certain unknown, annoying doctrine, a morem advectum, a custom that had been carried longinquo from afar, trans Maria, across the seas. And then we're still describing the morem. So a custom that had been prescribed a paucis by a few people, a multis susceptum, undertaken by many people, ob omnibus honoratum, honored by all, regna subversurum, still describing that morem, that would overturn the kingdoms, resistente reges occusurum, that would kill kings that were resisting, turbas seductorum, that would seduce, lead astray the crowds, omne seorum deos destructurum, that would destroy all of their gods, all gods of theirs, and then we've got an ablative absolute, ejectis omnibus elorum artis operibus, with all the works of the skill of those people, ejectis, having been thrown out, overturned, gotten rid of, in saecula regnaturum, so we're still talking about the morem, one that would reign forever, unto the ages, forever.
Yes.
Okay?
Very good.
Okay. Portantem quoque suadentemque hunc morem signaverunt, et profetaverunt his verbis, quasi in modum versiculi, crebro ab histem dictis, maxime in antecedentibus adventum patricii duobus aut tribus annis. So this is the part where, like, there's a lot of lines on my paper because, you know, it was like, wait, what goes with what? Why is this was the part. So signa verunt, they pointed out, they indicated. So you have to put like an aum with this. The person, portantem, carrying also, and advising, urging this custom.
Mm-hmm.
And they prophesied with these words, almost in the manner of a poem, frequently, in these words said by these same people, especially in the years, annis, the 2 or 3 years, duobus aut tribus annis, antecedentibus, preceding adventum patricii, the arrival of Patrick.
Yeah. Yeah, this is where I really almost want to type it all out with the subordination, what goes with what, just spelled out really, really. I don't know if you've ever seen, there's this, the University of St. Louis has this website where they take Latin texts, I think classical texts, and they print them in chunks.
Yep. So
phrase by phrase, which I find kind of intriguing and certainly for some kinds of texts very helpful.
There's some great readers that do that too for intermediate level, like the Legamos series by Bolchesi publishes them, and they have a Virgil and an Ovid, and I think there's a Caesar now, that do the same kind of thing, that show the subordination. They'll put like the main clause and kind of use indenting and breaking to show that. It can be really helpful.
Yeah. I've tried to do it, but I find that then you have to make decisions, and it's maddening. So anyway.
Well, it's one of the reasons that I think reading out loud is really important, because you kind of do some of that chunking when you read it out loud, and I think that's part of what you learn as you get better at Latin.
Yeah.
Not just, what case is that? What ending is that? Like once you're past what ending is that, then you really need to start hearing those phrases and seeing where they go. And that's the hard part.
I run into that with people telling me, well, Chaucer you just can't understand Chaucer these days. And I say, have you tried reading it out loud? Like saying it out loud, and it's like, oh, it's English with a really strange accent and some strange vocabulary. Yep, pretty much. I mean, all the grammar is there. I just whenever one of my students, when I was tutoring, would say, well, Shakespeare is Old English, I would laugh. I've had Old English. I've translated Beowulf. Shakespeare is not Old English.
No.
I'll tell you, some of our English teachers actually think not only is Chaucer too hard, like they don't even approach Chaucer, which is a shame because I teach Chaucer.
Oh, Chaucer's fun, yeah.
We do some, but they won't read Shakespeare. They're like, oh, it's too hard.
Oh.
I think it gets easier. You teach
It does get easier, but I still think Shakespeare is hard. There's a line in P.G. Wodehouse where he says, I bet Shakespeare just put down the first thing that came into his head and isn't expecting to make any sense. But anyway.
You know what? I was a Trekkie from like way back, and Star Trek quoted Shakespeare all the time.
Yeah, you can quote it little bits. It's just listening to it. I find that if I'm listening to it for any length of time or reading it for any length of time, I just lose. Once I take my mind off the ball, I realize I don't know what anyone's talking about.
See, my mom had it. My mom had the whole collected works, and I would go through them, and I guess it's just familiarity that from as a child.
I know.
I knew how to read Shakespeare, and if you know Shakespeare all the time, and you've seen films and this and that and the other thing, it becomes second nature. Especially if they modernize the spelling and stuff.
Right.
I think it's just a lack of familiarity.
I know.
It's like sometimes when you run into a specific someone who's doing Latin, and it's like, oh, I don't like this Latin. Well, it's because you're not familiar with it usually.
Well, sure. Yeah. Larry is a professor of English, so no snarky comment from him.
None.
I did take the snarky comment.
The Three Stooges quote Shakespeare.
There ain't no snarky comments. Middle English, Old English, Latin.
Oh.
I'm innocent-ish.
All right, Lisa, 10.4.
Okay. Haec autem sunt versiculi verba, propter linguae idioma non tam manifesta. Now, these words are poetry or poems.
I think these are the words of the poem.
Oh, I see.
So that's genitive.
Gotcha.
Versiculi is genitive, sorry.
Great. Propter linguae idioma non tam manifesta, because is idioma here neuter plural? Or,
no, I think it's singular.
Singular, but it's still accusative with the propter.
Yeah, with propter, accusative with propter.
Okay, because the idiom of the language is not so clear.
Right, because of the idiom, the verba are not so clear. Don't you think? Right.
I thought the idioma was not so. Oh, but that makes sense too.
I think I should put a comma after idioma, assuming this is right, because of the idiom of the language.
Mm-hmm.
These are the words of the poem, not very clear.
That makes sense because then sunt can still be the verb.
Right.
Okay.
Good.
Adveniat asciaput cum suo ligno curvicipite et sua domu capite perforata. So adveniat ascicaput, the one with the shaved head will arrive.
Mm-hmm.
Cum suo ligno curvicipite, with his wooden staff curved at the top.
Mm-hmm.
Et sua domu capite perforata, and with his home or his house perforated at the top.
Uh-huh.
And that's the church?
That's what I thought. If you think of, and I don't know if anybody knows about like 4th century or this would be 7th century ecclesiastical architecture, but it seems to me that old churches had steeples
On the top.
with a gap for the bell, right? Don't they?
Yes.
I thought they were referring to his head.
To his cell, his monastic cell, like in those little beehive type
So
cells,
why would it have a hole at the top?
because they have an opening at the top so that the smoke can go out.
Oh,
I wonder. I don't
I
know.
like that.
I thought these were metaphors for his head. That the
I
first
think
one is because the first one, it's not axe head, it's definitely adze head,
Yeah.
because the shape of an adze, and the next two metaphors also are yes, they're referencing to houses and things like that, but they're also talking about his head and how it's like an adze, which an adze is curved on top and it's perforated at the top as well. The wood comes up through the iron or whatever metal head at the top. An axe head is not like that, so it's definitely adze head. And I think that those next two, they might be referring also to his cellar. I mean, there's certainly double meanings are possible, but I think that they're primarily talking about that he's basically a chrome dome. He shaved his head.
And all three phrases mean that. That seemed. I took it that it was he had a crozier because he's a bishop, and then he had. As I say, I thought it was a church with a steeple, but I like the beehive tomb with
Think of those little monk cells.
a beehive.
Yeah.
What do you call it? A beehive retreat.
Right.
Well, but in the next sentence, it's talking, or later it's talking about his altar.
Right.
It could be the church.
That's the church, certainly.
Well, he is the church at that moment. I mean, his body is the church, in a sense.
I think that's pushing it a little far for these people.
He's carrying the church with him. I mean,
That's sure. It's some literary sub-meta level. Right?
well, adze head is not exactly complimentary, so obviously some wordplay is
that's
going
right.
on here. Not necessarily nice.
But adze head, I actually thought, I was really puzzled by adze head until I realized it just meant someone's taken an adze to his head, right? Someone scraped everything off of his head. So it's a very cool word. I thought at first it was shaped like an adze, but I don't, that would be too.
It's sort of like he had a mohawk,
Well, and adze is smooth and curved on top.
Yes.
I mean, it's, and it's obviously hairless, quote unquote.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, when he said adze head, I said, well, that makes perfect sense. He's certainly not an axe head.
No,
because
that's right.
Axe is not the right shape, but an adze certainly is.
Yeah. And well, it depends on whether we're talking about the shape of the instrument or just the fact that someone took an instrument.
cut his hair.
Well, he could have. It would be easier to cut your hair with an adze as well. But I think in this case they're talking about the shape of his tonsure.
Okay, I don't know. I didn't like the shape of his tonsure as an
It's kind of scary.
really weird.
Well,
Whereas a shaved head seems completely
Right.
So instead of saying a razor head, they just kind of exaggerate and say adze head, right? And anyway, that's how I took it.
And to compare it with the people who were maybe the inhabitants in that area at the time, they might have been, like long-haired,
Right.
baggy looking, and maybe this, contrasted him with them. So,
well, these are Celts. I mean, they're not Romanized or anything.
right.
One thing I find really strange about this text, and maybe all medieval texts, is there aren't very good, classicists were used to having really good commentaries, so there would be you might not know what the answer is, but you could find out what people thought, and I find it very hard to know just what people think is going on here. But I guess that makes it more fun. But that's the positive attitude. Lisa, do you want to keep going?
Sure. Incantabit nefas a sua mensa ex anteriore parte domus suae, respondebit ei sua familia tota, fiat fiat. So incantabit nefas a sua mensa, he will intone evil from his table, ex anteriore parte domus suae, at the front part of his house. Respondebit ei sua familia tota, all his family will respond to him or reply to him, fiat fiat, may it be so, or amen, amen.
Mm-hmm.
Quod nostris verbis potest manifestius exprimi, which in our words it is more easily expressed. Is that right?
Uh-huh.
I wasn't quite sure what this parenthetical was doing.
I think it means that that Murchu could have spoken more clearly in his own language than they've done it. So they're talking. So Murchu is quoting these magic guys who don't understand what the Christians are doing, and Murchu is saying, left it under me, we could have been much more clear about this. Like maybe even we would have said amen, amen. Like that's what they're saying.
Oh, okay. Quando ergo haec omnia fient regnum nostrum, quod est gentile, non stabit. Quando ergo haec omnia fient, when all these things will come to pass, regnum nostrum, our kingdom, quod est gentile, which is civilized, non stabit, will not stand, will not remain.
Right. With the gentilis again means pagan.
Oh,
Right.
pagan. Okay.
Yeah.
Quod sic postea e venerat, which I was confused by the tense here. So basically, afterwards, everything happened just as they said.
Huh?
But that's a pluperfect.
Yeah, why is it pluperfect? I don't know.
Okay, as long as I'm not the only one.
Does anyone? I mean, is there any reason for that? Just
I thought that was odd. I mean, it makes sense, but it's like afterwards,
which
it had already happened. I guess it's the afterwards that makes it seem weird.
Yeah.
I mean, you do sometimes see pluperfects as sort of generic statements or kind of heuristic pluperfects. I wouldn't want to
Uh-huh.
swear that that's why that is.
No.
Okay. Eversis enim in adventu patricii ad idulorum culturis, fides Christi catholica nostra replevit omnia. Eversis enim in adventu patricii idulorum culturis. So, ablative absolute with the worship customs. So indeed, with the worship customs overturned at the arrival of Patrick. Sorry, the worship the customs of idols.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Fides Christi Catholica Nostra replevit omnia. The faith, the Catholic faith of Christ, replaced all. So our. Wait, sorry, who's speaking?
I think the Catholic faith, the universal faith of Christ, replevit, filled all our things. In other words, all of Ireland.
Okay. So who's Nostra here?
Murchu. We Christians.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Because we're out of the quotes now.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Great.
So he's basically saying, so they predicted that Patrick is going to come and convert everything, and it actually happened for that enim, right? For having overturned the cult of the idols, the Catholic faith filled our whole world, right? Nostra omnia, right?
Great.
Okay.
Yep. De his ista sufficiant, rediamus ad propositum. De his ista sufficiant. So enough about these things. That's enough.
Right. Let these things here suffice about these things there.
Mm-hmm. Rediamus ad propositum. Let's get back to the subject.
Good. Very good. Okay.
And
Lenovo user has his or her hand raised, so I'm going to promote him or her and see what happens. I think that's what the hand raising might mean.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I didn't know what else it meant. Hello? Oh, he's too. Whoa. Wait a minute. Unmute audio. There we go.
I'm on an unfamiliar box today.
Sorry?
I'm on an unfamiliar computer, and
Oh,
it identified me as Lenovo user, I guess.
I guess it's a Lenovo computer.
Indeed.
Right, but that's not a very help as nicknames go. That's not very helpful. Are you Greg?
Yeah, I'm Greg.
Hi, Greg. How are you?
I'm fine.
Good. Well, we've missed your section, I'm afraid. You were.
Yes, you covered it just as I was coming in.
No,
I
I'm
was
sorry.
delayed by a family dinner a few minutes.
Okay. Well, hang in there, and we can see. It's Paula's going to take over at 11.1. Is that right, Paula?
Yep.
No.
Just before we go on, that NM. So, William, you went back after Lisa had said indeed, and this is like one of those teeny little picky things. Originally it does mean indeed or for, but it actually ceases to mean indeed except as an archaism. Like you'll see it in like Virgil meaning indeed, but it's deliberately archaizing when it does that. So here it absolutely means for. It doesn't mean indeed. So
Right. I always think I pretty much always think it means for. I hope I said
Yeah.
Did I not say
yeah,
that?
no, you did. I'm just explaining why it means for and not indeed. Because if you look it up in the dictionary, it'll tell you both.
Mhm.
It really doesn't mean indeed unless you're reading really early stuff or like epic poetry.
Right. Thanks. Okay. Good. All right. 11.1. Paula.
Okay. Consumato igitur navigio,
Mhm.
sancto perfectoque. Completed therefore the holy voyage and perfected. Honorata, sorry. Navis sancti cum transmarinis, mirabilibus spiritalibusque tesoris. The loaded ship of the saint with overseas miracles and spiritual treasures.
Mhm.
Quasi in opportunum portum, as if into a suitable port, in regiones Culenorum, in the land of Cuelan,
Mhm.
in portum apud nos clarum, in the port near us renowned,
Mhm.
qui vocatur hostium D, which is called hostium D, now inver D,
Mhm.
dilata est, was carried.
Good. Good.
Okay.
Yeah, and I find it hard to get used to hostium meaning. Hostium is an alternate spelling of ostium, which ostium totally means port or mouth. Ostium looks like so many other things that it's
Yeah,
Hostile, D.
enemy or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of odd. But I saw the note, so I was like, okay, that's what
Right.
it's called now. Fair enough.
trying to understand what's happening here. So he's loading a ship with all these spiritual treasures or relics or I don't know what.
I don't think it means anything real. I think it just means that, at least I took it to mean just a kind of way of saying he's coming with all of his
Religion.
spiritual baggage, right? He's bringing religion, right? I don't think it means that he's got like a whole set of saintly equipment, like a,
I was trying to imagine.
like those stores near the Vatican where they sell all the paraphernalia. Have you ever been, in Rome?
Yeah.
Those religious paraphernalia stores. I don't think it means that. I think it just means
But it would be funny if it did.
good, right?
They have a square in Zaragoza that's just like that.
Yeah.
It's near a Church of the Virgin. There are several churches there, and the whole square it's filled with shops of religious icons and paraphernalia.
We all want to buy stuff, but we don't, right? Keep going, Paula. 11.2.
Yep. Ubi visum est ei nihil perfectius esse quam ut semitipsum primitus redemeret. Where it was seen by him that nothing had been perfected, in order that he himself at the beginning make good the cost. Et inde appetens sinistrales fines ad illum hominem gentilem milcoen. And yeah, and then striving left hand or northern territory to that pagan man Milcoen.
Mm-hmm.
It is single man, right?
Yep.
Yep. Apud quem quondam in captivitate fuerat, at that place he was in captivity.
Quondam. Once upon a time. Quondam. Once
that he was once. Okay. At the place where he was once in captivity. Okay.
But not the place where apud quem is like at whose, well, I mean at whose place, but like it's the quem refers back to the person.
Right. I think is that what, I don't know if that,
Oh, you mean in Milcoen's?
yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So it's like he's going to Milcoen, at whose house he was once in captivity.
Okay.
Right. This is the Shenu construction, the Apud Quem construction.
I was just thinking of that as like a Shay Apud Shay.
Exactly.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Okay. Find where I am again. Portansque ei geminum servitutis praetium, and carrying by him a twin reward of servitude, or is it carrying for him?
Twice the price, isn't it?
To him.
Carrying to him. Okay.
Or just for him, right. Yeah.
2, 4. Okay. Terrenum utique et caeleste. Earthly undoubtedly and celestial.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now why is caeleste, terrenum and caeleste, isn't caeleste, that looks like ablative.
No, it's third declension adjective, so it ends in E, neuter.
Okay.
Right.
Goes with Pretium.
Right. Omnis, omne. Right. So E is the accusative singular neuter, nominative and accusative singular neuter adjective. Right. So caelestis, caeleste.
It wouldn't be caelestem?
No, because it's
It's neuter.
Not if it were neuter.
Oh, snooter, okay. Ut de captivitate liberaret illum, in order that he be freed from captivity.
Wait a minute. In order that he might free
Yeah.
him, right? In other words,
Yeah.
he's freeing Milcoen from captivity.
So, yeah, pagan is Milcoen slavery, or is he in pagan captivity?
Right, pagan slavery, right.
Okay.
Excuse me, I just want to kind of catch up on what this paragraph means.
Mhm.
So he's paying this ransom to free a slave, and that refers to Milcoen. I thought it was like paying off what he was worth because he escaped and needed to ransom himself, really.
Yeah,
It's a double price.
he's feeling guilty that he snuck away from Milcoen, leaving Milcoen more poor than he would otherwise be.
Particularly when there's a price established in Scripture for a slave. It was referenced earlier. A slave is worth X, so he brings twice X.
Right, and he's bringing, presumably, according to the story, he's bringing both the real money. He's saying, here, I'm sorry I run away.
Mhm.
Here's the $100 that I'm worth to you. But he's also bringing the spiritual benefits of Christianity. So it's a double, as he says, it's a double pretium.
Oh, okay. I understand that now. Thank you.
I mean, I think you're right to be troubled, and historians have said that they don't really believe that this actually happened, right? That for him suddenly to tool off to way back up to County Antrim they don't actually believe that it takes place, or at least some people don't actually believe that it took place. But it's part of the Patrick story that he did this.
So you don't read
The double ransom was puzzling to me, but now I understand it was a material
I thought he
ransom.
was bringing twice the price. That the old Milcoen couldn't refuse that. You know, if
No,
it were 100, he's bringing 200.
Right.
It specifies there, it says geminum servitutus praetium, namely that Uchique is explaining the geminum, the terrenum et caeleste as an earthly that's the actual money he's bringing in, et caeleste, and the heavenly one. So he's bringing in money and Christianity. And that's why they explain it, because otherwise it makes no sense, and you'd think, like, why is he just bringing him twice as much money? Why is he bringing him money in the first place?
Right.
So it's to make that very clear to you, but clearly he didn't do a great job doing that.
Okay, so we're at liberare illum, so he would liberate this man from captivity.
Yes.
Qui ante captivus.
Qui ante captivus seriaret. Servi erat. Of which before the captive would have served. Ad anteriorem insulam, to the eastern island, quae eius nomine usque hodie nominatur, by which his name even today is named, Purim navis convertit, he turned the prow.
Yes.
Paula, if you look at that qui ante captivus servierat again, the qui refers back to Ilum. So that he could free that guy from captivity, qui is dative with servierat. So that guy whom he had served. So it's the object of servierat, and it's a person. Ante he was as a captive earlier.
Okay.
Does that make more sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And then he turns back to this earlier island, which is still now called by his name, which, if this is right, if people are right, is now way the hell south off the coast, almost off the coast of Dublin. So he's been way up in the north of Ireland visiting Milcoin, but now he's gone to the island that's off the coast of the Skerries. Do you know, Larry, do you know about Irish geography? I mean, all of these places, almost all of these places are kind of new to me. It's
A little bit.
You know.
Well, Ireland isn't that.
If you look at the map that you posted, it's marked St. Patrick's Island there.
Is it?
Yeah.
Ireland, the Irish Sea is fairly notorious for being kind of a grumpy sea, shall we say?
Grumpy sea, yes.
Having been across it in a hydroplane, I can attest to that. In the middle of a storm, but it's not that big. I mean, Ireland, you know, that people say, well, how did the Scots come over to Ireland and back and forth? But you look that the upper part of Ireland really doesn't come that far up. It comes across from the lower part of Scotland, and then Scotland goes way up, and then you have the Faroes and the Shetlands and, you know, all that, and then it gets up towards Scandinavia. But Ireland is not, it's big, but it's not that big.
No,
I mean, Iceland's bigger.
Still got a lot of geography in it, most of which I don't know, you know, and
Yeah.
I find it remarkably hard to find on the internet. But anyway, that's a temporary problem.
Yeah.
Good. So anyway, so now he's back down to this little island of St. Patrick, and then 11.3.
Oh, sorry. Before we move on, can we go back to the first clause, because I'm having trouble with what's going on there grammatically.
Ubi visum est?
Yeah. Yeah. If we could just kind of go through that one slowly, I'd appreciate it.
Do you want to do it again, Paula?
Sure. Ubi visum est ei nihil perfectius esse quam ut semitipsum primitus redimeret. Where it was seen by him that nothing had been perfected, in order that he himself at the beginning make good the cost.
Almost, I think that's almost right, but perfectius, that nothing would be more perfect, nothing would be more complete than that. He should at first redeem himself.
Got it.
Basically, he suddenly had this idea that his first job was to pay off this debt, because he obviously felt bad about sneaking away from his slave owner. I guess, right?
Seems a little odd, but okay.
Yeah.
So is that quam ud plus the comparative, like nothing better than?
Yeah.
Okay.
That there's nothing more, that nothing would be more perfect than that he should.
Okay. Thank you.
It's almost a superlative use in that sense.
Yes, right. That would be very important too, we would say.
Yeah.
Okay, 11.3, Paula. Let me just see if
Okay.
anyone else wants to do anything.
Okay. Tum de inde, then from there, Brega conalneosque fines, from the kingdom of Brega into the Cannae country. Nec non et fines ulla thorum in levo, dimitens, yet also dismissing on the left hand the country of the Uled.
Mm-hmm.
Ad extremum in fretum quod est Brenna se inmisset. Finally, to the sound that is Brenna, he sent himself, or he went.
Right. So leaving the country of the Ulaid on the left, he threw himself, he entered the entrance of Strangford Loch.
Okay.
I'm just saying this slowly out loud to myself to think that maybe it will be clear.
Now, I had a question about in misset, which seemed to confuse people when I was people commenting on this passage when I was looking it up. This passage pops up. But is it basically, is he mashing the two words in and misset together? Or is it an actual, in misset is an actual verb?
I think it's an actual verb. I didn't really look it up. In mitto?
It's a verb.
Okay.
Right. He sent himself in.
I mean, this isn't spelled the way it would be in classical Latin. I assume the I shortened and the S doubled to make up for that.
Okay, yeah.
Certainly Larry could say more about that, I'm sure. But in classical Latin, you could spell it either I-M-M, I with a macron, S-I-T, im, misit, or you could have the, without the assimilation, in misit, but it's in mitto to send in.
Right, but you're right. The double S is on.
I knew there was something odd with it. I was like, that's a little.
Yeah, this spelling isn't right for classical Latin.
Yeah.
But I think geographically, the point is he's doing this by boat, so he can sail into Strangford Loch in his ship.
Mm-hmm.
I assume you can sail into Strangford Loch. I don't know. I don't think it's land.
It's just whether you could then. No, it's more than whether you could.
Right. It looks like you could on the map. That it's a loch that reaches the sea rather than an internal loch. Again, I think we all need to just have a field trip, find these things out.
It's been a while since I've been to Ireland, so.
Mona, by the way, I've muted you because there was a lot of background noise. So if you want to say something, just raise your hand and we'll try to notice. Maybe it's all better now.
You should be able to unmute herself.
Okay. Yeah, or you can unmute yourself. Right, there we go.
I'm sorry.
Good.
Okay.
Onward and upward.
Yep. Et descenderunt in terram ad hostium slain, ille et qui cum eo erant in navi. Okay. And they descended onto the earth at the mouth of the Slaney River.
Mm-hmm.
Both those who were with him in a ship and those who stole a small ship.
They hid the ship.
Yeah, they hid the ship, but I'm kind of trying to understand what exactly that means. Did they hide it from Patrick, or did they hide it from somebody else, or
Hid it from anybody that might want to steal it? Don't you?
Okay.
So I think
they came in two ships and they hid one of them, is what
right.
you're
So
saying. Okay.
Yeah, but maybe the important thing is the ille et qui cum eo erant. So basically, it just means he and those who were with him.
Mm-hmm.
They descended to the land at the mouth of the Slane River, and they hid the boat.
Okay.
Okay. Because we haven't heard much about.
So it's not a both and. It's just these just sort of running on.
It's just he and his companions. And
No, I'm talking about Virtue. He's just running on here. He's not going et was. He's just going et they did this and then et they did that.
Yeah. Well, the first et is he and his companions, and the second et is and they hid the boat, and then they went errant.
Okay. That makes more sense. Okay. Et venierunt aliquantulum in regionem ut requiescerent ibi.
Mm-hmm.
And they came a little into the land so that they should rest there.
Mm-hmm.
Could rest there.
Good. Okay. 11. Brian, you ready?
Yes.
11.4. Things get
Okay.
exciting.
Et invenit eos porcinarius cuius viri natura boni licet gentilis cui nomen erat dicu. Et invenit eos porcinarius, and then a swineherd came upon them, by nature a good man, although gentilis a pagan, to whom the name was Diku.
Yes, but I think it's a swineherd of a man who was good by nature, namely
Oh,
Diku.
the swineherd. Okay, got
We
it.
don't actually care about the swineherd,
A sw-
apparently.
Okay, that's helpful. I was puzzling over that. Thank you. Habitans ibi ubi nunc est aureum patrici nomine cognominatum.
Mm-hmm.
They were living there where now there was a place called the Barn of Patrick by name.
Yep. I think Dichu was living there where now there is this place called the Barn of Patrick.
Oh, okay, right, singular. Thank you.
Sorry, if it's not the swineherd who has the good nature, can you walk me through that little phrase, the coistam viri natura boni?
Well, I took it to be a swineherd of a certain man, good by nature.
Oh, okay.
That's what it has to be. It can't be the swineherd who's good, because then it would be bonus.
Right.
It has to be the swineherd of a certain man, exactly as William said.
I mean, I found natura is presumably ablative of description or something, but I would have been happier with a genitive, although maybe that would be too many genitives.
Well, it's good by nature. That's an ablative of respect.
We'd mean good-natured now, wouldn't we? Wouldn't we say a good-natured man?
No, it means somebody who, like, just by birth, like, nature made him that way.
Right. I think it's a much more profound thing to be good by nature than to be good-natured.
Yeah, if you wanted to say a man of good nature, you would have to. You could use this phrase, but you would say "cuiusam viri naturae boni," and you couldn't do it this way.
Okay, so it's not the swineherd with the nature of a good man.
Nope.
Okay.
As I say, we don't seem to care at all about the swineherd. He's just a humble vessel of this contact with Dichu. I mean, it's a very non-egalitarian world. Or maybe the swineherd wasn't a very interesting guy. I don't know.
Okay,
Keep going.
going on.
Mhm.
Porcinarius autem putans eus fures aut latrones. The swineherd, however, thinking they were thieves or bandits,
Mhm.
exiguit et indicavit domino suo dudicoin,
Mhm.
went away and pointed out them to his lord Dudicoin,
Mhm.
et induxit illum super eos ignorantibus illis. And he led that man above them,
Mhm.
Patrick and his friends, with them being unaware.
Yes, very good. That's a little awkward. I think, but that's what it means. I mean, the Latin is awkward, but I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah, that's one of those ablative absolutes that isn't absolute that you shouldn't be allowed to do.
Right. Yeah, there's
Wrong, bad.
all sorts of things wrong with that ablative absolute. It's Caesar would just invade Ireland just to put a stop.
Virtue is not passing this semester. That's just it.
That's right.
No.
No, you're getting, you don't have grade inflation. We would give him maybe a C. C minus.
Okay.
Keep going.
All right. So qui core proposerat occidere eos, whereby he proposed in his judgment to kill them, sed videns faciam Sancti Patricii, but seeing the face of Saint Patrick, convertit Dominus ad bonum cogitationes eius. The Lord changed to change his intentions to the good. I'm not quite sure I get there.
That works fine.
Oh, okay.
Changes his thoughts to the good.
Okay.
That very first word, that qui, I think you were taking it as an adverb, like I think you said whereby. But it's actually, I think it's more likely that it's a connective relative. It's the equivalent of et ille. So, and he had decided to, had intended to. So it's like, so literally who had decided to. It is a nominative singular, the pronoun.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's perfectly classical, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's one of the nicest things in that paragraph.
Straight, it moves to straight B as far as I'm concerned.
Yes. There you go.
Onward, Brian.
Okay. Et praedicavit Praticius fidem illi, and Peter praised the faith to him.
Or preached, I think.
Preached the faith. Okay.
So
That
Patrick,
was better, yeah. Et ibi creditit Patricio, and thereupon he believed Patrick. Et requievit ibi sanctus apud illum non multis diebus, and there the saint rested near that man for not many days, for a few days, I guess.
Yeah. Good.
And that's one of those things that should be accused of in classical Latin, so his grade is back down.
Right. That's true. I also don't like, though I wouldn't mark off, I guess, that the two different meanings of ibi right there, right? Ibi means sort of first, as you said, thereupon means thereupon at first, and then right next to that it means absolutely geographical, he remained there. And that seems to me awkward and bad and misleading and irritating.
Not classical.
I also don't like that in the previous sentence, the verb in the first clause is referring to this guy, and then the videns is referring to this guy, and then all of a sudden Dominus is the subject.
Yes, although that's true, but that's right. Although at least you do get the subject articulated, right? Tacitus would do it without telling you, without giving you a noun.
Well, certainly, but I don't like videns here. I feel like it should be something like, you know, at the sight of his face, God convert, you know, like.
Oh, no, you're right. You're right. That's the transition is awkward. Well, anyway, but it's a nice story, and it's a fairly unstressful moment in medieval history, right? So far, you know, no one's killing anybody. Everyone's being
Yet.
I just
Give them time.
Be patient.
celebrate the moment, right? People of good man of by nature, a good man, right? It's all very nice. 11.5, Mona.
That's me. Okay, 11.5. sed volens cito ire ut visitare praedictum hominem milcon, et portare e pretium suum, et vel sit converteret ad Christi fidem, relicti ibi navis apud dicoin, cepit per terras diregere viam in regionis crudnenorum, donec pervenit ad montem mis. So I'll do this sentence, but wishing to go quickly, cito iri, ut visitare, that he might visit the aforementioned man, Milcoin or Miliuk, and bring to him pretium suum, his own ransom, and perhaps, well, thus convert him, understood, Milcoin, to the faith of Christ, ad Christi fidem. The ship, and here's a real ablative absolute. The
No,
ship.
it isn't.
It's not.
That's why
It's not.
this guy here, he totally.
No, I'm sorry. I'm just looking at the wrong word.
This is this nominative absolute that just
No, I'm sorry.
doesn't exist and just gets us all upset.
Right. I was just looking at Relicta. The ship, having been left there with Decoin or Deku, he began, Capit per terras diregere viam, he began, or you could say he directed the course or the way through the lands into the regions of the Cruithne, strange Irish people, until Donec, he reached Mount Montemis, or until he reached Mount Mis, what today is Mount Slamish, which is Antrim. And then de quo monte multo ante, tempore quo ibi captivus serierat, presso vestigio in Petra alterius montis, expedito gradu, vidit angelem victoricum in conspecti eos, ascendice in Cairo, from de quo monte, from which mountain, multo ante, long before, in the time when, well, or in which he had served as a captive there, he, being Patrick, saw the angel, Captain Surya went and picked up the verb, widit, he saw the angel Victoricus, his footprint, this is the angel's footprint, it's kind of awkward, having been impressed on the rock of the other mountain with a quick or swift step, expedito gradu. He saw him to have ascended in his sight into heaven.
Good. Everyone got that? Nice dramatic ending. Very exciting. And in fact, you can Google Slemish on Google Earth and get lots of different views. It's this kind of weird puffy up mountain. The weird thing is it seems to be a mountain all by itself, so I don't quite know where the other mountain is supposed to be, but again, maybe a few would reveal that. There doesn't seem to be any real footprint there. I mean, the story clearly depends on like some kind of a footprint-like thing in the rock, but as far as I can make out from the internet, it's not like you can go visit the footprint of Saint Victoricus in the real world, which is sort of.
Have you looked up devil's footprints there?
Devil's footprints? No, why would I look up devil's footprints?
Because there's a real tradition. Here in North Carolina, we have at least 2 or 3, and they are related to miracles as well. And there were temporary snow footprints in Britain from 1855. So it could be that in Merchu, it's an angel, but by the end of the Middle Ages, it's considered a devil's footprint.
Okay.
So there could be a tradition relating to a devil's footprint related to Slamy Mountain. Just a suggestion.
Right. I want there to be a damn footprint. If I go to Ireland, I want to see a footprint.
Well, I'm just saying that in English, in British Isles, British colonies in the Americas, there is a devil's footprint tradition.
Okay,
I don't know of any angel's footprint traditions, though.
Well, it's just a more negative view, I suppose.
Yeah.
So
You can easily flip.
So just so I'm clear, so he's standing on Mount Slemish, and from there he saw this angel on another mountain.
On
Right.
the mountain. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
On my map, there's this place called Agnew Hill, which is not that far away. So maybe the only thing I can see here, the only thing that's around it that looks like it has any kind of height.
Oh, maybe.
So William, you can check there for footprints.
There you go.
On Agnew Hill. Yeah.
Check Agnew
Maybe
Hill.
I've been looking in the wrong place. I actually thought about going to Ireland this summer, but then I haven't gotten around to it. All right, I thank you for everybody. Should we just call a halt, declare victory, and withdraw? Right?
Fly up off the mountain.
You know, that's the way we're Americans. That's how we do it, right? We say we've won. Great to see you. I'm sorry about last week, and we may have to figure something. I don't know if I can't figure out how to transfer the Zooming to other people. I'm not sure quite what we're going to do. Would it make at some point I've got to miss 3 Sundays in a row, and we could move to Tuesdays or Mondays or Tuesdays. Would that work for people here, or would you rather not?
I can do Mondays.
Yeah.
I can do either.
It would
I could
be in the
do
afternoon.
Mondays or Wednesdays.
What time on Monday or would
Or
we?
Monday actually be any time, but Monday evening I think works for people who work.
Yeah, usually I work in the day, so evening would be better.
Right.
Yeah,
And
I
we're-
can do Monday evening.
Okay. I'll post about that and we can communicate, but it's just and we may still have to miss one meeting if I don't have internet connection in Maine, but at least on Sundays I'm going to be traveling 3 Sundays, so it was just poor planning. Sunday afternoon seemed like a great time in theory, but clearly it's not great. Anyway,
It's hard to work it out. But it's
So
worth it.
we're not doing next weekend, are we?
we could. I wasn't planning. My life doesn't come to a halt just because it's the 4th of July, but
Me
maybe yours does.
But my brother's going to be here, and I'm nursing 2 little kittens, so I'm bottle feeding kittens. So my plate's kind of full next weekend.
That sounds exciting, but well, I think if you're nursing 2 little kittens, you have such a rich and full life that you need medieval.
Believe me, I'm doing the. I got them literally dropped on me. It was like,
Okay. Are they here? You don't have them handy?
oh yeah, I have them right here. You want to see them?
Yay, kittens!
Okay, hang on just a second.
How else is this video ever going to get popular, right?
They're not coming for the classics, they're coming for the cats.
Well, it's summer and cats are having kittens and people aren't getting their cats fixed. So I keep having, I'm part of a local rescue and people keep calling me up because they know I can bottle feed kittens.
Oh.
And I took in some 6 to 8 week olds that were, that same people. They're gonna squeal. And then these guys, it was like next week. Oh, can you take in these guys? You see them?
So exciting.
Oh,
A little higher.
Yep. I got to put them back right away because they're gonna get chilled. But yeah.
Oh, tiny.
Are they litter mates?
We are.
They are. They were originally 3. One died last Thursday, and these 2 are brother and sister.
Oh,
That is so sweet.
well,
Yeah.
wait.
They
Sandy-
cuddle together and everything. So when I got them, they still have their umbilical cords.
Aw.
So I think I found your devil's or your angel's footprint.
Where is it?
Oh, excellent.
Holmfirth. It's also known as Devil's Rock.
Okay.
This site is on a very pleasant walk. Oh, sorry, no, it's the wrong. It's the wrong island. It looked for Ireland and it says Yorkshire.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
All right. Well, we can. The internet is there for all of us. We can explore.
look it up.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody. That was really fun.
It is fun.
Things.
Sorry,
Thank you for
Thank you
for the
again.
kittens.
Hosting this.
See everybody next week.
Fun.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Okay. take care.
Okay, so are we doing next week or not next week?
Let's do next week. And
Yeah.
next week I can do Sunday. Is Sunday okay?
I can do Sunday. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
let's
good
do
for me.
Sunday and then switch. All right. Bye, everybody.
Okay. Good
All
week.
right, bye.
Bye bye.
Yeah.
Uh,